Well, hello everyone, the OntarioGardener here, back with Masterplan Tycoon. Now, there was a bit of an update a little while ago, so I wanted to bring you guys a brand new series of Masterplan Tycoon. So, there's a couple things that have changed. If I can figure out where it is, not in there. So I guess when you start a new game is where the new stuff is. I just did this just to test it out. Here you have a guided or key events. Classic or generated. So I always go to key events because I roughly know how to play, and it's been a few months, but still the concept is the same. And here, you can play a classic map, which is like your standard map, or you can do a generated map where it's a randomly generated map. And I think that'll be more fun for us to do a randomly generated map. So let's just load it up. This game is all about supply chain, supply, demand, and the end goal is, well, to finish off the story or the series here. It takes a little bit of time because we are generating a new world. And obviously you play this with your mouse and then your keyboard. So it will give us a little bit of key events here. You can pause it with space bar, and then up top here, I always like to have it in fast mode. And the way it works is this is going to just tell us a whole bunch of things here. So we can buzz through that pretty quickly. And then, well, actually, let's go into it. It's going to make us do this anyway. Wonder how I can turn this off. Let me see if I can turn that off, actually. Because for some reason, it didn't want to let me turn it off earlier. Yeah, so it doesn't let you turn it off, and that's okay. We'll just deal with it. Maybe it'll just go away like that. So the gist of the game is you have resources. You have, like woods, you have water, you have stone, and then as you get farther along, you'll start to see there are going to be any generated, not through here, but through the map. You have these side missions, or missions basically, and then this one is going to be your brick mission. That's your first one, and then you have one down here, steel mission, and some of these are similar to what you had before, limestone mission, and then down here you have port and port. And again, this is a new map, a different map. It's a not custom map, but it's a generated map. So it's not the same as what the traditional map was. Up here you have copper mission. Some of these may look familiar. Mountains, that's new. We never had mountains before. And then are there any other ones up in here? That may be the last one. Hard to tell, because it may, within the missions, it may lead you to another mission, of course. So the first thing we got to start doing, and we can open this back up, it doesn't matter, is you have to start supplying lumber and, well, to have a sawmill. Because certain things, I want to open up your building menu, certain things require, here, so a lumber camp is forest, you have a sawmill here has planks, stone, and once you start placing these things, they will have requirements. I thought they actually used to tell you here, but maybe they don't, as far as what they need to keep going. Oh, here it says the recipe. That's basically what it is. So basically here, recipe is, a fishery creates one fish every 30 seconds. Water creates one water every 15 seconds. Planks, which is your lumber camp, produces 2 every minute, but also plants 1 every 30 seconds. And you can adjust these things. So the first thing you got to do is you have to start getting stone, and you have to get water, and you have to get your basic stuff. So lumber camp is the first thing, and there's not really many trees up here, which is very interesting, by the way. Now, these buildings, you can move these, right? You can move any building anywhere you want, but you see how there's a red line through this? That means that it will not work. As you see, it's not working at all. It used to snap you back and not allow you to go over water until you have the pylons researched. So there's not very many trees up in here, honestly, which is okay, because what you can do is we can just move this way out here just for now, and then up here we can put in our lumber camp. And this, when you hover over this, it tells you basically your saturation here. So you want to have it, we're at 100%. That's the best way to do it. And then you also want to get a sawmill from that. And again, you can place these anywhere. It tells you here your lumber camp percentage. This is at 88%, which is interesting, because if we had it before, it's at 97. Now we're at 100. But I like to put it somewhere in like this. And this is fine as well. This is telling you basically the amount of free space that you have left. But we do have a little bit of a slowdown here. I'm not really sure why, because this is interesting how this is set up. But your trees go to tree, and then your sawmill starts making planks, and this can go out here. And as you can see, it's producing 2 every 120. There's a reduction, also because there's not a lot here, right? But regardless of that, it's still fine for the beginning. Now, storms are going to roll in, and they're going to water things, and that makes, well, things that need water go up. But here, see how you have a plus and minus 9%, or minus 9 seconds? That means because we have water here, our recipes are at 83% efficiency because they're being watered, which means they're going to grow more. So you have to kind of keep an eye on that, because we also don't have a lot of plant resources here. This will go up over time. Sometimes you want to almost place 2 down. And then the planks have to go somewhere, and we're going to put them to here for right now. I'll tell you about a little trick here in a second, how to deal with storages. But we have to have stuff coming in, because right now, everything takes planks and takes stone. So right now we have planks coming in, but we have no stone coming in. So we got to build a quarry. And we can build a quarry right about here. This is 100%. Quarries aren't really affected by water. This is a recipe is at 100% because of how much saturation there is. Now here, we're still at 83%. Now if we move it around, we'll be at 100% here. It's just because of the area that you have and the area that it has to work with, basically. So planks are at red, meaning they're coming in. Now you may say, wow, this is working great. The problem, though, is that one material can only travel across one line at one time. So the farther away you have it, this can't push another plank out until this has been in here. So we're coming along here. Let's do this real quick, and then we'll talk about, well, the little trick I want to talk about. Fisheries are the same thing. You, as long as you're near the water, basically, that's how it works. These buildings are your basic starter buildings. They don't require any, they don't require upkeep. Your tier 0 buildings, in a sense. So we're going to get some fish coming in here, and you're like, okay, well, this is kind of slow, blah, 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 blah. And it tells you here as far as your speed goes. I always leave it at fast speed. If you want to pause it to move things, just hit your space bar. So we're going to get some fish coming in here. Now, let's make fish go a little bit faster. We have tons of planks. We can put these right about here. And now you can't connect these lines together. It doesn't work that way. But you can connect it to here. These almost have unlimited entry points, and these have unlimited exit points. It just will limit on far as how many things are there. But now we're having fish are coming in double time. And if you click on this, we're at 100% function, I guess. Here the node storage is full because of how far this is. Our lumber camp is at now at 100%, which is great. So the next thing we have to do is we have to make ingredients, which is going to take us to tier 2 or tier 1 buildings. Tier 1 buildings have upkeep, right? So we have things like farms, and their maintenance is fish and water, mill, fish and water, wells, nothing, bakery, fish and water. All your tier 1 buildings are going to require the same basic thing, fish, water, fish, water, fish, water. And then your brick, to go to your brick mission, which is where we're going for, or going towards, they require bread, which is from this. And then it also requires beer to dig at the clay pit, and then you have beer and clothes at the brick, which that's going to be in here. So as you see here, we have stone and bread. Now from here, you can run these over forests, and if you left click on it, it goes away. And it'll push through any resource that can go to here. So we can push stone here from this if we want to, and that works perfectly fine as well. Now the little trick that I have is you put your storage buildings, which require 4 and 4, you put them close. You put them close by, right? Turn this from here, let this build. You put this close by. And why is that in a negative? Oh, because this doesn't like being wet. There's nothing you can do about that. See how fast now the storage is working because of how close this is together. And this is any to any, and usually any to any doesn't do anything. We can leave this far away, it doesn't matter. Now the way that storages work, which is a great thing, is they actually are going to turn these ones off. They share. As long as you're within the same map, in a sense, they share resources. And we're also going to do the water to this one as well. We're going to turn the water off to here. And up in your top left has your kind of resources that are coming in. Certain things your storage only has a limit here. Obviously, these are all your tier 1 or your other types of materials and food and stuff that can go in here. So it's better to run it real deep, like close. And the storages, it may even say it in here. No, it doesn't. But they share. They share. And your buildings that need upkeep, they have to be within the circle. So this can actually move up here. So as any building that we're building, this here, you can't move. Your missions, you can't move. So we're kind of stuck that way. So I think what we're going to do is, I think what makes sense to me is we're going to put a storage right here. Now, because remember, the storages share resources. It's like some kind of underground. So we can dump the stone right into it. And the brick mission is going to get stone because we need stone in the brick mission because there is no brick there. Remember, you can't move this. But you can push your bread into this. Oh, there you go. And now, we got to find an open spot on the map. Let's do it, let's just do it up here, because there's nothing up here. So, tier 1, we need to make beer. The brick is inside the, in the brick mission. So, we got to make bread. So, bread, we need farm, mill, bakery. So, farm is you get 2 every 45 seconds, and it replants 1 every 25 seconds. So, in about a minute and 10 seconds, you have 2 grain and you have 1 planted. Mills use 2 every 30 seconds. So you need 1 grain every 30 seconds. Here we're doing 2 every 45, so that's 1 every 22 and a half. So if we have 2 of these, that's 4 grain every 45 seconds. This here is using 4 grain, and you have 3 of these, then you're at a minute and a half and blah, 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 to something like that. I always forget the ratios how this works because they're different, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I tend to not ratio things exactly because it's like, okay, so you see here, we're having our issue because we have nothing here. So it says, wait a minute, there's no storage up here. There is storage up here. All we do is we're going to put an end result of a storage building right about here. That way, this can now get its maintenance. But, well, now it can because it's built. So grain isn't going to anything. So how I've done this in the past is I've always had like a huge grain storage, just grain storage here. And then you move it to a different area, and then you have your other storage. So, but for now, we're not going to start out that way. We're going to start out the basic way. We're going to go to a mill. Mills are up and down, so you got to be careful where the dots are. This grain is now getting full, so it's just going to build. We're at 98%. Now we're at 100% building area. This is irrelevant because it's not building anything. This goes to the meal, and this can be super close. The highlighted area is basically where the fields are going to be, just like down here. This is where you're going to build, or the forests are going to take shape. Stone doesn't really work that way because they don't replant stone, so it doesn't. This is kind of, it just has to be within this area. That makes sense. And down here, obviously, we're up on. We're full on planks, which tells you in the top left here. Stone, we're not, because we're sending it to the brick mission until that fills up. And then brick, obviously, we don't have any bricks yet. So here we're making grain. Here we're going into the meal. And then here we need to push the meal into the bakery. So I think we might actually have to push this a little bit farther. Maybe put it down a little bit. Well, we might be able to put 2 in here. Let's see, where is this? I just got to make sure it's connected. And then here we have the bread going to this. And that gonna, yep. And then we have the meal going here. Now we need water. So this we can actually push up a bit. And a way around a lot of this is we go in here. We put another storage unit. Let's just say we put it, well, it doesn't matter where we put it in this scenario. But we have water going into storage, remember. Just keep that in mind. So we dump that into here. The water is going to come out. It's going to make the bread, and bread's going to go into your storage. Now down here, we need bread. But we already have the storage going here. So what? Oh, we have bread going in now. Look at that. Which is great. That's exactly what we need. Now, we don't need beer. No, the beer is going to be for... Yeah, clothing is we're going to have that inside. Yeah, that actually we don't need it. This is fish and water, clothing, beer. We don't need the beer. To bread, we need fish and water. Here we need fish and water. This is nothing, and this is just fish and water, which is great. So it tells you here because we supplied it with what we need. Let's hope these guys know what they're doing. Let's excavate a clay pit and build a brick factory. Well, the issue is that there are no bricks here. So what does that mean? That means we have to go into the brick mission. For some reason it says it needs 3 brick. That's interesting. That shouldn't be... No, it's outputting 3 brick. I'm sorry. Duh. Here we go. So here's our input. Stone and bread. And this is coming from the main mission. These can't be moved, obviously. And then within this mission, You have your out and you have your in, and that's it. So you have this whole area to produce tons and tons of bricks if you want to go back and do it that way. So, but for now, just to get the first little bits going, like this is a game like almost like kind of Factorio in a sense. Is you start out small, and then boom, you go into production, which we're probably going to do that in next episode because there's always bottlenecks somewhere. All right, so let's go back in here. We got to build our clay pit. Now the thing is though, we need bread, beer, and clothes. Well, beer and clothes we don't have, so that's not going to work. It's not going to work. But first things first, let's bring some storage in here. Let's dump these materials into storage. This is going as fast as it can. I don't really feel the need to have it go slow. That, and then you can drag it backwards if you want. And this is going to pump in and fill up. Let's see. We're going to bring in stone. Oh, tier 0. Sorry. We're going to keep bringing it in until we don't have any more. And then the bread is going to be in here. And that's the bread. And if you look on this map, there is no stone. So we can't get stone here. It has to be brought from the first location, which is where the interesting stuff comes into play of like, well, we're going to run out of stone and we can't run this and blah, blah, blah. You see how it works, right? You see how it works. So we can actually, we don't have any planks either. And the thing is we can't bring planks in. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful. We can't build clay first. We got to go back and guess what? We got to build planks or lumber camp. And I think what we'll do is I'm going to build that away from everything else. I'm going to put that right here. Then I'm going to build a sawmill right here. And then it's going to connect up. Come on. And tree. And then I want to place down, if we can we place down a storage? We do not because we don't have enough planks. So the way we around that is we basically have to drag this up here and we have to dump the planks into here. And this is okay. This is how these work. So the reason why that has a question mark is because there's not enough resources to start production. Because these things aren't very fast. Now, I reduced the area here because I built within it. Can we make this at 100%? Not quite. And this is new. This is a... we can't... I wonder why they ran at 100% there. Interesting. It has to do with maybe what's here now? The percentage things are new, by the way. Let's go back and put another plank workshop in here. Yeah, they're both at 83% capacity, so it's not the greatest. It's not. It's just the way it works. But we are dumping stuff into this. We are getting our planks. We are getting our bricks. So what we can do is we can actually go back in here. We can grab another storage unit, place that, turn these off. It doesn't delete the units because I want to have stone and brick coming in right here. And we're also going to probably dump our clay out here. So we're bringing planks in to make, well, to make stuff. Here we're basically at, well, we're at production here. You get one in every 30 seconds. Here we're not producing two. We're not producing one every 30 seconds. We're about a half a second off. And it just has to do with your resources. And that's new in the update, like I said, which is kind of a good thing. That way you're not just placing things wherever you want, you know. But what we can start working on is we can start getting the clay pit going. I almost hate where these go because of the because of where the outputs are. You'll see. I wish you could move the outputs around. Like here, I wish you could move. Hold on, wait for it to load. Wish you could move this to like this side, but you can't. You can't do that. And we are going as fast as we can, right? We are. So here we obviously need beer and clothes. Excuse me, for maintenance. This is within the range, but we can set up the brick factory, which is fine. We can set that up away, but we have to make beer and we have to make clothes. Here comes the rain, and the rain's going to be helpful. And the rain's random where it comes down, but what it's going to do is it's going to bump up our. We're at 100% now anyway. This one's not. This should bump up once it gets wet. Boom! Now we actually have a bonus to that. So clay is going to come out. It's going to make the bricks, and the bricks are going to go into, well, presumably we can actually put this over here. We're not actually using any of those other things right now. Bringing it as it needs it. But as you can see here, there's not a lot of stone coming in because we're not pushing a lot of stone because stone's being used in the other section. Bread, we're making tons of bread, and these are all, this is way other stuff, and this is recycle, which I'm not sure what that exactly does. But here it tells you here, all storage in a location share common storage. So this is the location, so they all share, which is a good thing. Here, this has a negative because it doesn't like being wet, but weather's a new thing in the game. It's cool. I like it. Deal with it. Okay, here again, we're missing, we have no resources because we need bread we have, beer and clothes we don't. Just like up here, bread we have, beer and clothes we don't. So we got to make beer, and we got to make clothes. And I mean, we're fine with doing this. We can just run this right to this, and we're perfectly fine. Yeah, we're perfectly fine doing that, right? So what we gotta do, we gotta make beer and we gotta make bread. Or sorry, not bread. We gotta make beer and we gotta make clothing. And that's what we need here. Bread, it's interesting because here it says bread 0 of 10, which is kind of odd because that's what we need to send to the steel mission, but the steel mission isn't on this map. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, this is just things that we need to send to, but we don't have as of yet. So let's go back in here. We got to make beer and we got to make clothing for this mission. So beer is a farm, 2 every 45. And then here, a brewery, you need 1 every 45. So basically, one of these kind of can support 2 of these, but not really because you take that 25 seconds to replant. So, you know, that's that. And we're just gonna do basic stuff for right now. And we also have to get a well. We can dump the well right here. This is fine for us. This will probably change. Yeah, the water's gonna go in here. Grain's gonna go in here. So we're at 78% because we're taking up too much space. Let's put this in here. See, now it's 100%. And then this can probably stick here. Yeah, that should be fine. So now we're producing beer. And the beer has to go out somewhere. Well, the beer can go into just the storage here. And this is just basic stuff. Done. Now we have here. Oh, this here is a little go-between. So instead of having a big storage unit, this is a pillar, a go-between in a sense. So this is, instead of having a long run here or something like it just doesn't reach, you can push one of these in here to like wrap this here, wrap this around here or something. That's basically what it's for. I don't think I can delete it. Yes, I can. I can click on this. Nope, I can't delete it. Never mind. It's here to stay. I don't think pillars actually cost any money either. No, they don't seem to cost anything. This is just your home. Which is a storage unit anyway. It basically looks like a storage unit. So, guess what we have coming in? We have beer being made. Very, very slowly. So I think what we should do is we should put another grain farm, if you will, in here. Now, we're going to have production problems, but we can lower this one down here. Let's get this out of the way. You know, as long as they're close. This also does make stacking things a little bit harder to do, which... You know what I mean? To get 100% out of that. But again, it's fine. And we are making... Where are we at here? We are making beer. Slowly. Are we making beer? What's the problem? No green. Why do we not have green? Fish and... Oh! Guess what? We have no fish and water coming in. How interesting is that? So we can... Because they... Remember, these are tier 1 buildings. And they need basic resources. So you got to go back to tier 0. Get a fishery in here. Things I can't... place it here because I won't be able to reach that. So let's just place one over here. Because remember, your certain tier buildings require fish. So here would be a perfect place to put a pillar in, right? So I'll show you how this works. This is going to go here, and then this is going to go here. Now, why these are also good is because, remember, only one item can be on one line at a time. But because technically these are... Never mind. Ignore what I just said because it still acts as the same line. For some reason, I thought when I placed it, it had 2 on here. Yeah, no, never mind. Never mind. The well, why is there a question mark here? It just says, oh, because there's no water. I need to have it where there's water, actual water. So there. Yeah, sometimes you just got to move things around to make it click back in. Now we're chugging in. Not enough resources. We got water coming in. We have grain coming in. It's slow because they have to make the grain or, you know, farm the grain or whatever you want to call it. But we are getting there. Here comes our first grain. Ah, there comes 2 grain. Now we're producing grain, and now we're going to be producing beer. 2 beer right about now. And then in here, guess what? We have beer. It's not going to tell you here because this is going to the steel mission, and we're not at the steel mission. What this is going to help us make, though, is going to help us make clay and then also help us make bricks, which is all we need to get out of this area here. But the smart thing is to have tons of brick going. But you always got to start off with smaller resources. It's just how it works. All right, we have that done. We don't need any of these things. Oh, here are the pillars. Oh, they actually do. They take 3 planks and 1 stone. Because I forgot where it told you what it took there. So we have beer. We got to make clothes. So basically, all you use is a sheep farm. 2 every 45, and here you need 1 every 45. So one of these can supply 2 of these, technically. And the sheep farm, let's just put it here because let's just see, what does the sheep farm need? They need fish and water, maintenance. That's fine. And these are just production buildings, so they can go right here. And then the sewing workshop needs fish and water as maintenance as well. So it just takes wool and wool just goes to clothing. So one of these can support 2 of these, so which is fine. Bread's coming in. It's still at red because we have tons of bread here. The wool's going to start producing. We're going to go woolly mammoth, woolly mammoth. Now this is at 81%, so let's move this down a little bit. It's because of these lines being here, because you can't plant here. But this is going to help, because right now we're at a little bit of a deficit. It's fine. This is going to jack it up to be, well, bonus. Probably give us, what, plus 20, plus 12 seconds on it. So now it's going significantly faster, of course. So this is great. But now we gotta put the clothes somewhere so we can dump the clothes in here. Will let us go over top of that? Not quite. So let's push this back a little bit. There we go. Now we're making clothes. So now, what does that mean? That now means our clay in our brick factory is working. So this is 1 every minute. This takes 2 every 45 seconds. So you need multiple. Put this down here. The pillar. I might actually use this in here. You need a lot, because here you need basically 2 every 45 seconds, and here we're making 1 per minute. So not very good. So we're going to put another clay pit up here, and this should work. That we can dump in here. Again, these I wish you could maybe do them by hand, free form, but I understand why you can't. There we go. Oh, why does that not reach? Sometimes you just have to move it out of the way. Why does that not reach? There it does, okay. And I can, yeah, it's interesting. I guess it's just too close. But it still does the same deal. Now we're going to be making it better. So this is exactly what we need to do here. And if you look over here, we're actually sending the brick out. So we can actually put this even closer. It doesn't matter. So this is the basic mission. Basic, right? So because we now satisfied this mission, so to speak, we could leave this. Now, the smart thing to do here, or when you want to ramp up production, is you got to have basically here's, what are these at? Are these at 100%? Not quite at 100% because of how close they are together. If we push this back, but it'll never be at 100% because we have these lines here as well. So you just have to kind of deal with the percentage loss. So the smart thing in here is you have a whole line of lumber producing. We don't need a lot of planks. Planks are just used to make other buildings, so that's a bad example. But here, you kind of want to have tons of these and have a bunch here to always have your clay working. But, but the issue here is like, well, you have so many, it's so awkward to have clay pits here. Like, how could you have one here? These aren't mirrored. You can't push them the other way, which I wish you could. For some reason, we can't do, I'm not sure what this is actually supposed to be. It's different than what I remember. So brick, we're pushing bricks out. We're pushing stone. This is global stone, global planks. So we're, you can go back in tier 0, it can tell you there. So plank, stone, this is within the mission. This is what we're sending out, or what we've sent out so far, I guess you could say, because it says here brick, we have 21, and they're just being added up here because we already have enough coming out. Not yet. Well, for now we have enough, but just wait when we go into the next mission. So we're done with this mission, so we can go back to the main mission, and guess what? We got brick coming out. Now the problem is, look, all of our stone and all of our planks are not, but all of our stone is depleted because we're actually sending stone to the brick mission, and we have like no stone. Well, we have no stone, and that's a problem. That's why we can't build any things that take stone, but we can build. Should be able to build quarry. So let's try to build a couple quarries in here. Don't know how easy it's going to be to place them. You place them on the edges like this a lot better. And what I want to do is I want to put this here, turn this one off, jump this all together. And what we'll do is we can't get a pillar yet. We should in a minute here. We should get some more stone coming in. It is sending it to the other mission, but eventually this will... eventually this should stop, right? Because we can't bring stone in ourselves. What's using stone? What is using? Oh, it's actually using stone. Or is it just waiting to fill this up? Okay, now it's full. Yeah, stone was just used for building. There's stone and planks aren't for upkeep. They're just there. So now we should start having stone coming in. Yep, now we're fine. It brings us to here, obviously. So this is fine. We're not really going to be sending any more. Well, we're actually still sending stone, which is, oh, when this gets full, it'll stop. So that's full up now. It's bread. Bread is full. Bricks, we have an out, obviously. And here we have a lot coming in. We can build. This is where a pillar would be useful. Maybe put it here. Yep. There you go. That's how you use a pillar kind of more effectively. I do want to dump another quarry because, again, all it costs is planks, and we're producing planks like crazy. So the buildings that don't have upkeep, like these buildings, just places, fill them as many as you can. As many as you can. Well, I shouldn't say that. As many as you need, right? All right, so the next thing where we're at now is we have to, well, we're working on stone planks. We're working on bricks. We have no bricks coming out. Why? Because we have no storage buildings. Let's place the storage right about, right about here. And we're going to dump this right about here. And now our bricks are going to come out. We can put this as close as we can, and it's going to come out as fast as possible. So the stone coming in, this is showing that we have a good influx of stone. This is showing that we're full. If there's something that's a down arrow, means that we're using more than we're producing. Basically, tier 2, there's nothing here yet. So we're producing more stone than we're using, which is good. And that'll just keep, that number will keep going up. As things go up, the stone is being, not even really being used. The bread's being used because we need the bread in the brick mission. Now the thing is, though, with that is you could sustain and build your own bread farm in here. You could build it here. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't have to actually. You know what? Let's just do that. We could build it right here, because all we need is we have that. All we need is the bakery. Or no, we need the mill. I'm sorry. Put the mill in here, and we can put it. Actually, no. Let's just do it on a different spot. Let's do it down here. Let's do it here. Right. Let's go back here. So your farm goes to your mill. This can supply more than that. That's good. Let's get the mill going. Let's get the bakery going. Let's get the well going, which is going to be here, which you wouldn't actually need to put in. And then we can put in, I mean, it's easy just to click down here to put in a storage unit. So grain's going to go to grain, meal to meal, water to water, and then bread to bread. Because now we're producing our own bread. This here is showing you that we're actually using more than we're producing, which is also not a good thing. So what we can do there, this is for upkeep, right? We're using more than planks is just because we use some. Same thing with the stone. It's because we use some, and there's not a lot. Like this don't really go off of materials, go off of your food, because this is what your upkeep. So right now our water is lacking. So what we can do, really, go into here, because you got to always go back and forth. That's the thing with this type of game. You're gonna go shift, copy, shift, 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 the shift. That one I don't know. I can put one there. Oh. And what we're going to do is we're going to dump water. Yeah, that one's not quite going to reach. Will that reach to that? Yes, it will. There. Here, I got to try to get it where it's going to reach. This should be able to go down more, no? Here. Will that reach there? Yes, this will not. So what we can do is we can put a pillar in here. This one will reach, obviously, and the pillar will reach. And you just got to monkey with stuff. This can go here, and then this, will it go there? It won't. So you got to bring it back. Push this up, maybe one block. Push this back one block. Boom. There you go. Now, this still works. I don't know why this one is still... I think it's full because we don't actually want a pillar for this one. Yeah, we won't actually need a pillar for that one. So let's push this down here. Why is this... Okay, now it's working. Now it's working. The water's coming in. Water's going out. Water's coming in. The red just means that something is... It's not working for some reason. Like, it's not... It's full. That's basically what it means. Because these act as nodes, too. You can't connect them, obviously, because it doesn't do anything. But now we're saturated like crazy here with water. Our fish is the same thing. So all we can do is we can come... I like going on the edges like this. Fish have no upkeep. It's just, you just need water. So we're going to put one here, put one here, put one here, put one here, and then put one here, and there you go. And then we'll just push one of these here, and then we'll just, even if these are at 50 or 80%, it doesn't matter, because you're still going to be pumping out tons of freaking fish. There you go. And if you click on this, our fish now are going to go through the roof. See, the water is a triple arrow up. The fish right now is at a 2 arrow up. But this will keep going, because up arrows mean you're overproducing more than you're using. Right now here we're using more planks. you can't go by this because we're not really using, we've used planks, but we're not continuously using planks. When this hits 75, this should level out. Next time I click on it, maybe not quite yet, but it will go away like the stone went away. Water and fish are doing great, which is exactly what we want. Now, since we're producing our own bread, what we can do here is we can actually turn the bread off. We don't need to bring bread in. And our bread should be, where are we at on bread? Bread is 75. So we're using it. This is stopped because we're not using this anymore. The brick is working away. This is using beer and clothes. How are we doing on beer, by the way? Beer we're full, bread we're full. So we're not overproducing, but we're not underproducing. Here, planks we're overproducing now because we're not using any. Stone we're locked in. Fish we're up now. Water we're actually, I don't know how it got to be that high. Because here it says we're actually using a lot more than we're producing, which doesn't make any sense. Nah, this is fine. It goes up so high because when we're down one, it'll tell all of these to spit one up. See, watch. That's how it goes up so high. Right? And now this will stop now. It's not going to ask. And watch when it hits down 4, it triggers all 5 of these to push a water, which is why you get above your actual capacity. It's just kind of how it's done. So this is actually a good mission here because now this is we still have to bring in stone, but our stone isn't being used because stone is used to build things. So the stone coming in now is kind of irrelevant. We don't need to be like, we're not going to be pushing bread here because we don't need to. The stone, we're not going to push stone unless we build something else. So this is actually, pretty good. And now this is going to be filled up with stone, planks, trees. No, which is interesting why this says there's no trees in there, but like we don't really have to put trees in as far as I'm concerned. You don't have to put trees in this, but I mean, you could. You're not going to use them for anything else, but whatever, don't matter. Okay, so where are we at? So we did the first mission. The next thing we're on to is down here. This is our next mission. Steel mission. This is where things start getting really interesting. Really interesting. Now, these share storages no matter where they are, like I said. So we're going to be bringing brick out, which we have brick. We're producing bread here. Not a lot, though. We're not producing any beer here, though, but we're also not producing any clothing here. So we need to bring beer and clothing, and you can't bring that from the other mission. You got to build that here. I'm going to build just little buildings of this little, whatever we're going to call it, to bring beer and clothing. So this can go here. Remember, this is basically not quite a 1-to-1, but we're just going to do a 1-to-1 for now. It's telling us that there's no, wait for it to pop up, that there's no storage unit here. So all we got to do is put a storage unit here. Easy peasy. And we can actually bring water from there as well. This can go here. This can go here. And then we can put another storage unit right here to put for the beer. Clothing, the same thing. Sheep farm. Actually, let's just move. One of these is 2 every 45. This is 1 every 45. So this can do 2 sewing workshops, right? Because this is producing, like I said. But also this counts planting. So you're basically producing 1 every 45 seconds. Not 2, because it plants and then it shears, right? And because we're not using any, that's why it's not working that way. Let's push this down 1. So you see how that works? It does this, and then it does this. Now it's 45 seconds real time, not sped up time. But you still use it as the ratio. Like it produces 2 every 45, but this counts, right? So not really. Here now, this is 45. So they're basically only producing 1 every 45. This is using 1 every 45. It's producing 2 clothes. That goes up to here. This goes to here. Boom and boom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come right down to here. And look, we're sending beer and we're sending clothing. But, and actually it's not a but. And the beauty behind this is in this mission, we're going to go to this in a second just to look at it and then we'll call it an episode, is the bricks are the only thing that we have to push to the steel mission. Right? This will fill up eventually when, let's just go into it, when this, where is it? When this fills up, then it'll stop pushing them through, which is fine. So we're bringing in bread, beer, and clothing. But the thing is that we don't need to bring bread, beer, and clothing in here. We can produce our own. Now the problem though is that we hardly have any planks. So we should build something. Maybe we're down here, wherever. This is coal, by the way, and this is your steel. So keep that in mind, or your iron, I guess it is. We'll keep that in mind as well. Kind of similar to how the clay works. You need coal to. We can go into it and look right now. We can go in here to steel beams. You need an iron mine. Here's your coal mine. Now, there's 2 different recipes for this. That's what this is for. Let's go into our, what you consider research. And this doesn't unlock until you have something that you need. So, the way this works is you have upgrades. Resource transfer rate, we don't have enough because you have to do it within this mission. We can go back out and do this in a different mission, which would also be fine as well. Farm and plantation speed. This is great. But we don't have any potatoes or sugar, so we can't do this anyway. This is costing it within the steel mission. Increase the production speed of all farms and plantations by 10%. This is resource transfer by 10%. And then we're into construction. This is where the kiln comes into play. I wish I could zoom in more so you could read this, but it's the same description as what's over here. It basically says, allows you to mine coal from trees. Does not require maintenance. So less efficient than a coal mine. Less efficient. Because here it says 3 minutes. That's what you have to use to research it. So in here, does it give you the option? So here it says, it won't let me ask. It says here. So basically here it takes 2 trees, over 2 trees to produce 1 coal. Coal, you're basically just digging coal. 1 minute for 1. This is slightly faster, but it's using trees, but there's no upkeep. This has upkeep of sausage, moonshine, overalls. This is why this is good. Iron mine, you need those anyway, but still, this is good. This is a good thing. We can't do it because we haven't researched it. But we go into our research, and we can't research it now because we don't have trees. But that I'm going to do that very quickly, and then we're going to end the episode, and we'll come back to it. You got to go back to tier 0 again, of course. You got to go here to get planks. Well, not planks. We're just basically doing a lumber camp. And, I can literally put that anywhere on the map. Can we put? Is there any trees that are basically away from everything else? Nice if there be some up here, but you can plant your own trees too. That's not really a big deal. And the thing is with this is you can make a massive farm and you can plug that into your storage, right? Just keep that in mind as well. But just for now, let's just put it. We can actually put it way over here. Doesn't matter at all. And we got to get a storage in here, which is going to go here. We got to be careful because we only have so many planks and we only have so much stone. And the reason why we only have so much stone is because we're not mining any stone. We have stone up here. So what we can do up here, just to get your basic materials, because you need these. You need trees if we're going to do the charcoal, but you need stone. This we can't build yet because we're kind of stuck with this. Can I dump this somewhere else? I'm gonna actually have to move all of this. We have 6 stone, and what does a quarry take to build? Not a quarry. A storage takes 4 planks. Okay, so we're okay. Why do we not have any planks coming in? Hold on. Oh, because we're not producing planks. That would explain it. So let's go back in here, back to tier 0, of course. We got to make a couple planks because planks are used to build with. So we're going to do the tree. Lumber camp's going to do kind of double duty here. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And then this needs, it just needs trees. So what we can do is actually come in here. We can't build another one because we have no planks. So you see how there's like a cat and mouse game here, right? But the funny thing with that is we have tons of trees, some trees in here. So we're going to cut this off here. We're going to make our planks. Then we can make our, this is the beginning of within this. So you have to always make your own resources, planks and stone in the beginning. You just have to. So we're just going to leave this alone for now because I want to put a storage unit up here. Planks and stone are always needed because those are your building resources. They're not used as maintenance. They're just used as building resources. That's all it is. Quarries they don't take up any, anything. We put another one right here. This is going to do, all it's going to do is fill up our storage, which is what we want. And then the tree farm thing, I would rather almost have a tree farm built. I'm trying to think where the best place to build that. Maybe it's just down here. So let's just do, excuse me, can we do that? You need planks. So you have to start little by little by little by little by little. And basically you would come in here and you would just do this. We can't keep building. Oh, we can build a couple more, can't we? There's our limit. Which is also fine, by the way. This will fill up when it fills up. We need how many planks? Yes, it fills it up now anyway. So we can just do this, and we can plug this in right here. And this is going to give us our trees. This takes no maintenance. which is why it's excellent to use. And there you go. So you come back in here, lumber camps, all they take are planks. And we're making planks. How many planks do we have now? Oh, we're out of planks now. Come in here, we just fill this whole thing up. Now this production, this will go up. As trees are planted, this will go up. Well, let me hover over this. We're at 32%, so it is slower because but the way around that is you take this one and you don't actually cut. You don't cut this one, right? Just like up here, you don't cut this one. All this one's doing is planting. So it's going to make things go up quicker, basically. And it will, you have to just believe me, it will. Because we're up to 49 there, we're at 32% here, 42% at this one, 22%, here we're at 30%. So now we're producing tons of buttloads of trees. And then the way you're going to do that to make your charcoal, I'm just doing this, we can't make it yet. But we go to this, guess what? Boom, charcoal kiln. But we can't do it because we don't have the research done. The reason why is because we didn't have as many trees. Now we do. Boom. Takes it would be three real-time minutes. But since we're playing very fast at maybe 3x speed, this will take a few seconds. I just want to get this done and just show you how to make the charcoal, and then we'll call it an episode. Because I don't want to get too deep into this. But this is the way to, and some of these are, like I said, they're at 32%. But so what? You're still producing tons of resources. You are. And once this is all filled in, just trust me, it'll work. This should be finished. This is done. Perfect. So we got to go back in here. We click on this. No coal mine. We're going to do charcoal kiln. Charcoal kiln. That's what we want to do. And we're going to build, I don't know how many we can actually build here. What do they take to build? Planks and stone. So we have a lot. This one can go here. 2, 3. Let's see if we can do 4. I don't know if we can do 4. If it'll fit to put, if they'll be able to reach here. And this is all tree. That's all it is. Trees. Trees. They require no upkeep. That's why this is a good system. Now you may say, man, there's like coal literally right here. Yeah, there is. But just trust me here. These are at 22%, 30%. So by spreading these out a little bit more, you can increase this. So instead of having hardly any gap, you spread the gap out a little bit more. Just like this. Maybe that one's supposed to go there, I think. This one can go here. This one can go here. And then that one is there. Look at that. They're all spread out evenly. And you see the percentages are up now. We're up to 34%. And this, again, this will go up. It will keep going up as you keep building. Like this is up to 90%, right? So we can push this... where are we at here? Up here, 90%. If as soon as we move this one up, though, it's going to reduce the rate, right? So you don't want to have them too close. Maybe we can even spread them out a little bit more. I think something like that would be sufficient. Yeah, and it takes you got to tinker too. Remember Tinker Toys? If you're old enough I think we have an extra. Might be an extra space in there, but that's okay. Do this like that. And then put this one up to here, maybe. There we go. I think there might be a little bit of a spacing issue between this one and these, but it's fine. So now you see we're up to 45%. We're up more, but we're using more trees than we're producing right now, and that's also because that we're not, there's not a lot around here. But they'll build up, they'll build up. It's got to give it time, and it will. The other way you can get around... not get around, is instead of let's see, which ones are just planting? This one's just planting, right? You can just turn that off completely. I think this one's just planting as well. This one's just planting. This one's just planting, so you just turn this off. So that way you're not actually pushing trees to it anyway. You're just solely doing planting, which is fine. Again, they've changed the way that percentages work, but it's fine. This is just saying that we're not getting in what we need. But look how much coal we have already. Where are we at? Tier 2. We're up to 38 coal already, and there's no upkeep. So you could put more of these. You could literally put it all over this map. You just can't bring in. Anything else. So what I also want to do is I do want to dump this here, because we will be needing this for the other things. We got bricks coming in, bread. So what this is going to do is this is going to put stress on the systems back in the main level, right? And you see here, we're back to 0. We're hardly putting any in because we're trying to fill these up to 75 like a piece. So eventually things will fill up, but as soon as we start using this stuff as maintenance, and then we can't. So you want to build. You almost want to have every area as self-sufficient as possible. That's kind of a good way to look at it, in my opinion. Here, the trees we're doing fine. Like, we're just, it's going to be slow because we're harvesting, planting, blah, 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 blah. This one's just planting, which is good. We still have reduction because it being so close together, but we'll tinker with this as time goes on. So don't worry about that. And our planks are going down because we're actually using them, just like the stone's going down. Clothing is going up, bricks are up, bread's up, because this is what we're importing. We can't make bricks here, but everything else we can make ourselves. So that's a good way to be self-sufficient. And here too, look at it, we're almost maxed out on coal already. Once you max out on coal, this will all build up. This will build up. It's like, it's just, it's just how it works in a sense. But let's think for 2 seconds before we end this episode. Here we would need sausages, moonshine, and overalls to get 1 coal a minute. And here we're basically getting, 1 coal every 45 seconds. Now, it's not exactly that because these are all reduced, but still there's no upkeep. That's the beauty of this type of system. So anyway, guys, we're going to end it here because this is where we have to come back to. I want to thank you guys for joining. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving me a like as well as a comment. It would be much appreciated. I do love this game. It's you could go very overboard, build in excess in the beginning, and then you're still going to run out of things. So my goal through this is each mission, we want it to be self-sustaining, with the only negative in a sense is what we're bringing in from the other one, and that's for this one, it's going to be your bricks. That's the only thing we're bringing in from. We're going to be self-sufficient on these, and we'll keep adding on to be self-sufficient. So we're basically pumping out steel beams and steel and coal at a sustainable rate. That's what we have to shoot for. Anyway, guys, hit that subscribe button, tick the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future episodes of Masterplan Tycoon. We're going to make a series out of this until we complete it, of course. So there'll be, I'm not sure, maybe 5-10 episodes. I'm not really sure. They'll come out every few days. So always click that bell so you don't miss anything. And also, guys, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at around 9,250. You guys make it happen. If you like games like this, these are more kind of simulation resource management games. Speaking of that, Factory Town may make a return. I love playing Factory Town. That may make a return, guys. And also Factorio may also make a return. So if you made it to the end of the video, let me know in the comments if you like those types of games, because they will be making a return, because they're a resource management game. Well, Factorio is an automation game, but Factory Town is a resource management game, and I love those type of games. Just like this one, this is a resource management game as well. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot. I'll catch you guys next time.